2 years ago, I was a young, hustling, broke girl who was trying to make it big in the city, but did not know where to begin. I didn't know where to start from. I didn't know anything. I was just broke and I wanted to make it big. This is me here 2 years later, coming to share with you 5 personal finance lesson tips that I learned that took me from broke, from having zero in my account to having millions within 2 years. And the last point is the most important one. So ensure you watch this video till the very end. Hi there, my name is Rachel from My Financial Oasis, your financial guide to attaining the life of your dreams. And today, I am going to be sharing with you 5 personal finance lessons that changed my life within 2 years. I went from being that broke girl to being who I am today. So you know how you start off, especially when you just finish from school and you finish with big dreams. Oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to go into this sector, I want to go into that sector. And then you start out, but nobody tells you anything about how you have to start saving. Nobody tells you about how you have to invest. Nobody tells you about how life just happens. So some of it is things that I picked up as I was growing. So there were times where I just sat myself and I was like, what am I doing myself? What is happening? Why am I not there? I put so much work. I do this, I do that. But then there was just some things that I was missing out on. And these are things that if somebody had told me, if somebody had just taken time to sit me down and say, Rachel, this is how you should do this, I would have gotten to where I wanted to be quicker than I did. And I'm going to give you the steps for free. Now let's begin. And number one, I would say income isn't everything. So you know how we just sit down and we dream big and say, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. If I was earning this amount, I can do this, I can do that. Income isn't everything. Now I'm going to be telling you why. I started off by working in the bank and I was earning some good money. And I was like, yes, with this money, I'm going to do this. With this money, I'm going to do that. With this money, yes. But then every month comes and I'm left with almost zero amounts in my account. And I keep asking myself, what did you do with your money? What did you spend on? And a lot of the time, I can't exactly keep track of how I spent all that money. Let me tell you what happens a lot of the time. It's what I term as lifestyle creep. So you know how unconsciously, the more money you earn, the more expenses you have. So if you were, say, earning $200 and you were living off $200 every month, you just cut your amount into little categories. Okay, this is what I can afford here. This is for grocery. This is for this. And then you cut everything down into little bits. If you go from earning $200 to earning $700, somehow your expense will increase. And that's lifestyle creep. So you just suddenly realize, oh, now I'm earning $700. I can afford to buy that car I wanted to buy. Or I can afford to put money for grocery. Or I can afford to buy that expensive car. Oh, my friends are going to this place. I can afford to join them. So you just slowly start noticing that your lifestyle starts to change. Your expenses start to increase. And at the end of the month, you are still back to the way you were when you were earning $200 with zero to show at the end of the day. Or maybe you added some extra $50 to your savings. But this is something that we should pay attention to. So what I would advise anybody is, if you start to earn more, you should just act like you didn't even notice. Like all that difference in price, keep that aside. Keep that aside. And if you must take from that, just take very little so that that difference in payment or that difference in income will reflect in your saving. It will reflect in your investment. So it doesn't necessarily have to show off you're surviving off $200 when you did not die. Who says you cannot continue doing that? Who says? So these are things that you should take note of. Lifestyle creeps. Take note of that. Another thing that helped me greatly is what I term as diversifying your income. You can never get rich. I say this often. You can never get rich off one source of income. Like your money is just from here to here, from here to here. You can never get rich from that alone. So you want to learn to diversify your income. if you are earning from here, how can this money make me more money? Or how can I make more money to double down on what I have? That is the only way. Because if you are putting all your eggs in one basket, what happens when that basket burns, or when the basket is destroyed, or like you are just left out on the streets with nothing to fall back on? It's best that you let your money, either you let your money work for you, or you have multiple sources where you get your income from. So if you're earning from this point but it's not enough, you can work to get money from another source and just keep earning from different areas. But if one source is enough, all you have to work on is to diversify that one source, so that that one source becomes multiple sources. This is what I did not know till after a year of actively learning, actively looking at it, that what am I doing wrong? So you want to try this out, and I'm sure you'll feel the difference in your finances. And my third point I would say is educate yourself. There's like a tax on even a billion information out there that you can use to learn and improve yourself. So if you have a skill, you can improve that skill paying little to nothing. Like there are a lot of information online available for free that you can use to build yourself. So you want to keep improving on yourself. So for example, when I started working in the bank, I just go to work every day. I come back. When I come back, I'm like, oh, it's my time to unwind. I'm not going to do anything. I don't want to think about anything because I'm stressed, because I'm tired. But that's not a good way to live, especially if you have a goal in mind, if you want to achieve something, if you are aiming to achieve something within a specific time frame. That's not a sustainable way to live. So you want to educate yourself. You want to keep pouring into yourself. Okay, so I'm working in the bank. How can I move to the next level? What do I have to do? Do I have to take courses? Do I have to learn a skill? Basically, just keep pouring into yourself. Keep putting more into yourself, because it's what you know. People will pay you based off what you know, because it might be a little thing, but when you see that little thing, the other person who doesn't know it is a big thing for them. It's like a typical example: your car breaks down. It might just be something very minor, but because you don't know it, you cannot fix it. You have to go to the mechanic. It might just be something that takes 5 minutes to fix, but then you have to pay the mechanic because you're paying them for that knowledge. So if you keep pouring into yourself, you keep putting into yourself, you can tell people, this is how much I am worth. This is how much I want you to pay me, because you have put so much into yourself already. So at every opportunity you have, keep educating yourself, learn a new skill, learn a new trade. You can do these things on the side as a side gig for extra source of income. So if you say, for example, you work in finance or you work in fashion, you can learn, like there's so many things you can do online. You can decide to become a freelancer where you're offering your services for extra income. You can learn video editing. You can learn how to write, copywriting. You can learn photo editing. You can learn, like there's so many things you can learn. And there are so many tools out there that you can use that would even make your work easier. So it's not like you have to learn everything and use. There are so many tools out there that can make even that thing you learn easy for you to do. So you have no excuse. Keep pouring into yourself, and you are going to benefit from the knowledge that you are acquiring over time. Number 4, I would tell you to say yes to everything. So you know how when you get to a certain stage in your life and you're like, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, that job is beneath me. Well, if you are just starting out like I was some 2 years ago, you want to say yes to everything. You want to say, because you need all that knowledge, you need all that money. So you want to say yes to everything. If somebody's telling you, oh, I'm going to pay you $50 to take a picture of my leg, go ahead and do that. If somebody's telling you, oh, I'm going to pay you $50 to help me edit a video, go ahead and do that. Say yes to everything. You won't be doing everything for life. It's just your own way of building yourself, building your portfolio, building a career in whatever niche you've set on. So it's also an avenue for you to make extra income aside from what you get maybe monthly. That could be like your own side gig. So do not say no to anything. Somebody on a freelance site is asking you to draw something for them and you're very good at drawing, go ahead, do that. Somebody's asking you to make sound for them and you know you are good at that, go ahead and do that. It doesn't matter how little the money is or how, I don't think I'll do that. Say yes. Over time, these little things that you said yes to would pay off big for you. And my last point for this video is I would say you should move in with your parents, even if you are already 30. You know why I'm saying this? Now I'll tell you my own personal story. So I used to, after school, I didn't move back in with my parents. I was like, oh no, I'm bigger than that. I mean, I'll start off by myself. I want to make a life on my own and blah, 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 blah. And then I decided to move out from school, from staying in the hostel. I moved into an apartment and I was there by myself. And then I got a job. Now, what happens is that when I receive my paycheck, half of my pay is going into rent. Half of the money I earn every month is going into rent. And then by the time I buy grocery, by the time I pay for transport, by the time I pay for bills, utilities, and that, I'm left with zero. Literally, like I have nothing to show for all the work I put in that month. In fact, what is left is not even enough to float me for the month. I have to now start doing other side gigs, doing other things to float me for the rest of the month. My thought when I started doing those side gigs was, okay, I'll have an extra source of income and I can save that one. But that was not the case. So one day I sat myself down and I told myself, you have two options. It's either you move back in with your parents or you get a roommate. Those were the two options I gave myself. I don't exactly like living with people because I have a bit of OCD. So I tend to be very, oh, why is this place like this and that? So I usually like to stay by myself. But at that point in my life, I had two options. Go back to live with my parents or get a roommate. I chose the option of getting a roommate because I had a friend who was looking for a place at that time. So I just advised her. I said, see, we are both starting out. It's best that we try to support each other in this hustle life. So I'm looking for a roommate, you're looking for a place. How about we stay together for whatever number of months or years that we have to stay together until we are financially stable enough to get a place of our own. And that's how I got a roommate. Now, what did this do for me? This helped cut my costs by half. So if I was paying $200 in rent before, I was now paying $100. The extra $100 gave me something to save. So at least at the end of every month, I had something else. Okay, this is what I worked for this month. This is what I have saved. After deducting rent, after deducting expenses, at least I have $100 left that I can put in my investment. So as much as this might be a tough decision for so many people, it was a tough one for me. It's something that you have to consider, especially if you are starting out. Because I don't want to make this video very long, there are other lessons that I would have liked to share with you that I picked up over the last 2 years. But I'm going to stop this one here. I would share more lessons with you in my next video. So you want to hit that subscribe button and turn on your post notification bell so that when I post my next video, you are personally notified by YouTube and you can come here to watch it. If you have liked this video so far, if you've watched it to this point and you've learned one or two things, go ahead and give me the thumbs up button so that I know that you enjoyed watching it and that you have learned something from it. Also, let me know in the comment section if any of these points I just listed, if you have at some point in your life had to put that into practice, or if you are going to put this into practice, let me know in the comment section. And with that, I will remind you that your financial freedom begins with you. Bye guys, see you in my next video.